Hello everyone, my name is Claire Kamazanuk and welcome to my EdTech 300 Summary of Learning. I came into this class not knowing a whole lot about educational technology, but now I'm leaving with so much more knowledge of how to incorporate technology into the classroom. Throughout this class, I learned many different things, some of them being how to take charge of my digital identity, how to use technology in the classroom, and that almost everybody needs to work on their digital literacy skills. First, we're going to talk about how I learned how to take charge of my digital identity. One of the most beneficial websites I learned how to use in EdTech 300 is WordPress. With WordPress, I learned how to organize my blog to make it more professional by adding in tabs such as my teaching philosophy and teaching resources. Another place I learned to love was Twitter. Throughout the semester, I would go on Twitter and find new teaching resources, share some that I found myself, and even occasionally participated in ed chats where fellow teachers shared their own views on educational technology. I found Twitter very rich in resources for a beginning teacher like myself. Within lecture, alongside personal experience, I have learned some do's and don'ts when it comes to taking charge of your digital identity. The do's being, fill the internet with things you want people to see, think before you post, and show people who you are as a teacher. Some of the don'ts being, don't overshare and be aware that most things are public, such as who you follow, for example, on Twitter. Digital literacy was something that really goes hand in hand with digital identity. It goes way beyond just knowing where to go to find good websites, and that it often includes knowing how to detect fake news, knowing the risk behind posting online, and knowing when it is and isn't appropriate to be online. One of the most valuable lessons I learned in the EdTech 300 when it comes to digital literacy is being able to detect fake news and websites that are not okay to use. One of the most helpful resources I acquired through EdTech 300 was a media bias chart. I found this resource super simple but effective in being able to tell a person how a news site may favor a more liberal or conservative worldview. However, this media bias chart can only help us work on our digital literacy skills. There are still many things that we need to be aware of if we are going to be digitally literate, and I think that we need to be teaching our students about all these things. First of these things being that we need to be aware of this and that there is an abundance of information on the internet. Every minute there are millions of new posts happening, and this is beneficial for students to know as they may find it hard to find meaningful information on the internet. However, with help from their educators such as ourselves, we can help them to find websites where the information found may not be skewed, rather than if they went to a platform such as Facebook. The thing being that what you see on your feed is based on who you follow and what you like. This is called a filter bubble. We need to be aware of this so that we can try making unbiased decisions in terms of research. And we also need to teach students to do the same in order to have people who research well in the future. Lastly, I learned that we need to be aware of fake news and how to detect it. I learned that sometimes you should go with a fine-tooth comb in some websites to find out if it's useful or not. I also learned that there are websites and charts such as the media bias chart shown before that can help distinguish whether a source may or may not be fake news. Technology in the classroom. Within the class, I developed an awareness for formative assessment tools such as Mentimeter, Socrative, Kahoot, Seesaw, and Clickers. These tools seem like they would be a fun activity for students while also helping me to figure out where they are in terms of their learning. I can definitely see myself using these websites in the future. Lastly, I'd like to talk a little bit about coding. Within EdTech 300, we did lots of coding without even knowing it by creating our own blogs. We were also tasked with creating something from coding using websites like Hour of Code, Scratch, and Code Academy. After this small project, I realized how important coding is for students because it helps students develop higher thinking skills, which is beneficial all around. Through EdTech 300, I have acquired an abundance of resources that I will definitely use within the classroom. Some of these resources include Chrome extensions such as Mercury Reader, Grammarly, PicMonkey, and uBlock. Others being just standard presentation tools such as Keynote, Prezi, and Adobe Spark. That concludes my EdTech 300 Summary of Learning. Thanks for watching.